You're staring at your phone at 11 p.m. and your bank account says $12. Not $1,200, $12. And somehow, tomorrow still expects you to show up, pay for gas, and act like everything's fine. Here's the question that's been sitting in your inbox for weeks. If you had $500 right now and nothing else, what would you actually do with it? And I want to answer that honestly, because most advice online assumes you already have a financial foundation. This video assumes you have none. Zero savings, zero investments, just $500 and a decision to make. This is Simple Finance, and if you've ever felt like personal finance advice is written for people who already have money, stick around, because this one's for the other 80% of us. If this helps, hit subscribe. It actually helps this channel reach more people starting from exactly where you are. Let's get one thing straight before we touch a single dollar. With $500, you are not trying to get rich. You are not trying to invest. You are trying to buy yourself stability. Because here's what most people don't realize. Broke isn't a math problem first. It's a stress problem first. And stress is what makes broke people make expensive decisions. So the $500 has one job. Reduce the number of ways your life can go wrong this month. Here's the breakdown. 4 moves, in order, no skipping ahead. Move 1. $300 goes into a separate account you can't see easily. Not invested, not growing. Just sitting there, untouched, labeled something boring like "do not touch." This is your buffer against the financial domino effect. One bad week turning into overdraft fees, then late fees, then a credit card you didn't want to open. $300 doesn't fix your life, but it stops the bleeding when your car makes that noise or your kid's school emails you about a small fee that isn't small at all. Now, you might be thinking, Jack, shouldn't I put this toward debt instead? Totally fair question. But here's the thing. If you have zero savings and you throw all $500 at debt, one emergency puts you right back on that card at 24% interest. You'd be undoing the progress in a single bad Tuesday. Buffer first. Always buffer first. Move 2. $100 goes toward the highest interest debt you have, but only after the buffer exists. This isn't about wiping out debt. $100 won't do that. This is about proof. Your brain needs to see the number move, even a little, or it stops believing effort works. Pick the debt with the worst interest rate, not the biggest balance. Pay that $100 toward it and watch the minimum payment math shift slightly in your favor. Move 3. $75 goes toward removing one recurring leak permanently. Not a subscription cancellation, you can do that for free. I mean paying to remove a future cost. Maybe it's a $75 tool that fixes a $30 a month problem, like a library card replacing a streaming habit, or a $75 spare part that stops a $40 monthly repair pattern. The goal? Spend once to stop bleeding forever. Most people skip this step because it feels like spending, not saving. But here's what most people don't realize. Some expenses exist specifically to stop other expenses. Move 4. $25 goes towards something that makes the other 3 moves feel real. I know that sounds unnecessary, but remember, broke is a stress problem first. If every dollar of the $500 goes toward discipline and nothing toward relief, you'll rebound in 2 weeks and spend more than $25 out of sheer burnout. One planned, guilt-free treat protects the other $475. This is psychology, not math, but ignoring it is why most budgets fail by week 3. Let's do the math out loud. $300 buffer, $100 debt, $75 leak removal, $25 relief. That's $500. Every dollar has a job. None of it is extra. Now let me address the objection I already know is coming. Jack, shouldn't I invest this instead? Everyone says start investing early. Here's the truth. Investing with zero emergency buffer isn't investing. It's gambling with your own stability. If the market dips the same week your transmission dies, you're forced to sell at a loss just to cover rent. Investing is step 5, not step 1. You are not behind by skipping it right now. You are being strategic. Let me tell you about someone I'll call Derek. Derek had $500 after a tax refund and did what most people do. Put $400 of it into a beginner investing app because a video told him compounding was everything. 2 weeks later, his water heater died. $380 repair. No buffer. Straight onto a credit card at 26% APR. By the time he paid it off, the investment gains he'd made were wiped out 3 times over by interest. Derek wasn't dumb. He just did step 5 before step 1. Compare that to Maria, who had the same $500 and used the 4-move breakdown: buffer, debt, leak, relief. 2 months later, her car needed a $260 repair. She paid cash from the buffer. No panic, no card, no spiral. She told me something that stuck with me. It wasn't the $500 that changed anything. It was not being scared of my phone anymore. That's the actual goal here. Not wealth, not a stock portfolio. The ability to survive a random Tuesday without your stomach dropping. Here's your move today. If you had $500 right now, don't ask, how do I grow this? Ask, how do I stop the bleeding? Open the separate account. Decide your highest interest debt. Find the one leak $75 could permanently close, and give yourself the $25, guilt-free. Because starting from zero isn't shameful. Staying at zero because you were too proud to build a buffer, that's the actual trap. If this breakdown helped you see $500 differently, subscribe, because next time we're covering what to do with the next $500 after this one, when the real investing conversation finally starts.